Could the poison from an Amazonian tree frog help treat things like depression, anxiety, or alcohol addiction? It's called Cambo. People are turning to this alternative treatment to help bring clarity to their lives. But the treatment is not a walk in the park at all. Participants often experience hours of discomfort and severe vomiting after receiving Cambo. The frog poison is like the hallucinogenic plant drink ayahuasca. It's part of a growing trend of people seeking healing through spiritual medicine. And joining us now to talk about this is Simon Scott, a member of the International Association of Cambo Practitioners, who actually administers this at a retreat in Arizona. Katie also joins us, who credits Cambo for turning her life around. And I want to ask you first, Simon, how did you even discover this and then decide, you know what, I want to practice this, I want to open a retreat where we administer this?
Okay, I ran a company in Hollywood and it was quite successful, but it got the better of me. I got very sick and depressed and overworked and had a lot of anxiety. And in the end, I just gave up that company and started to look for answers to my depression and my sickness. And I didn't really find them here in North America, and so I went to South America. And I met some traditional healers there that work with different medicines like ayahuasca and also Cambo. And those medicines, the Cambo primarily, helped me to be well again.
And for people who haven't been familiar with this, could you just walk us through exactly how it's done and what it feels like?
Certainly. It is different for each person, so I can give you a more generic idea of what it's like. The medicine is applied after you've drank a certain amount of water. You will have an empty stomach, and you go through a process which we like to refer to as an ordeal. It's an ordeal medicine. So it's not a walk in the park. There is a price to pay to work with this medicine, and that is really discomfort. You feel very sick for about 10, 15 minutes, and you will either vomit or go to the bathroom, and then after you rest for usually half an hour, and you feel really good afterwards. But it is an ordeal. It is something that...
And in your case, how many treatments did you go through?
Well, as a practitioner, I've done a lot, but I think that I really found my healing after about 10 sessions.
10 sessions?
Yes.
Over how long a period?
3 or 4 months. Yeah.
Because it is a toxin, how do you recommend people find someone who's skilled in this and can administer it safely?
First of all, I'd like to say that Cambo is primarily very safe. It's been used traditionally for generations by the tribes. And of course, using somebody that's well versed with the medicine is important. So there is an association, the International Association of Cambo Practitioners, and they have a website where you can find trained practitioners.
I know not a lot of scientific studies, literature on that. Are you in the process of trying to accumulate real scientific data?
Yeah, there are studies, not a lot, but the medical field is focused in on the peptides in Cambo, and those peptides are very powerful, and each peptide has a different effect on the body, and the research is, I think, ongoing, but not conclusive yet.
Katie, how did you discover Cambo, and what was the reasoning behind it?
So I was listening to a podcast, and the person who was giving the podcast actually had a very bad experience with Cambo, and yet I was still interested in learning more about it. I had been suffering with depression for many years and was kind of looking for relief. I'd gone to medical doctors, I'd been on antidepressants, and this depression was overwhelming and suicidal thoughts. And my mind, my body was just seeking out something, and it just became focused on this. And when I initially contacted Simon, I said, I can't stop thinking about it. And he goes, that means that you need to come. And I was like, I'm in.
And what was your experience like going through the treatment itself?
Immediately when it makes contact with your skin, you start feeling this heat, and your heart starts racing, and your mind starts spinning with, what am I doing? Like, what have I done? Like, am I gonna be okay? It's kind of scary.
I would think that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you know that you're subjecting your body to a true poison. And feeling all these things you probably have never felt before. That would be a little scary.